murder charges were dropped? You're cleared?
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Well, I'm sorry that David was desperate enough to kill himself, but at least the letters that he left prove it was a suicide. Case closed.
Yeah, case closed, all nice and neat and tidy. The only problem is there isn't a chance in hell that David actually killed himself.
Taking your work home, but bringing your home to work?
I'm just storing it here until I find a place to live. I've had more than enough of the club, so.
Are you sure you don't want to stay at Wildwood? Right, okay. That's a bad idea. Too many memories. But when I walked out here, I heard you were saying you were sorry. For what?
Just sorry for everything that's happened.
Is that one of David's letters?
Yeah.
You know, some people don't believe that they're real. That David really wanted to die.
Then you have to help me convince them they are.
David died from an overdose of a drug he had access to. He left letters to people he loved.
Except he was definitely not suicidal that night.
I thought you don't remember what happened.
I remember that he was very angry, and he was not hopeless. Definitely not giving up on anything. Not Greenlee, and not life.
Well, maybe he changed after you left.
It just doesn't fit, Bianca.
At least he can't hurt anyone anymore.
Yeah.
You are not going to give this up, are you?
What do you think?
You found the drug that killed David in Ryan's jacket pocket. I found a list of searches on Ryan's phone for death by digitalis. And now all of a sudden suicide notes.
So?
So it doesn't make any sense.
None of this has made any sense. It hasn't made any sense since I ran off that road. But I read the letter that David wrote to me. It was so sad. This man who had so much potential, who loved with such fierce passion, but he had so many demons.
Yeah, okay, I understand all of that, but I'm just trying to be logical here.
I can't explain every detail, but I understand David's state of mind. He wanted to be feared, but I live with him. He wanted happiness, but he could never have it for very long. He wanted to love and to be loved, but he didn't know how. Our marriage was his last chance, and when he realized that wasn't going to work...
He blackmailed you. He didn't give up.
Until now. He'd already lost so much. He lost his father, Leo, Leora, Babe. All his wives left him. I mean, the only thing he ever had in his life was Madison, and then he lost his license. I was leaving him. I guess it was too much.
He wrote that?
He left letters for me, Marissa, and Amanda. People he wanted to remember him fondly. I hate the thought of it. Even after the blackmail, to imagine him in so much pain. Pain that I helped cause.
Well, if that's true, then Ryan's off the hook.
These letters were a final, loving act from a man who was never very good at showing it when he was alive.
Never thought I'd say this, but poor David. Okay, I better get to Liza's office and sign my plea deal. Somehow Tad convinced her to go easy on me.
I owe you for destroying those papers.
Well, maybe you can run interference with my husband when I try to explain to him that I got arrested for helping you and Ryan.
I promise I'll make it up to you.
I just want this whole thing to be over so I can get back to my life with Zach.
All right, Kendall, I'm going to make this brief. You cop to misdemeanor theft, and I will drop the obstruction and the tampering evidence charges. You will get time served, you will have a hefty fine, and you will have 250 hours of community service to begin immediately.
250 hours? I can't do that. I'm supposed to meet Zach in New York.
Yeah, well, maybe you should have thought that before you broke into my car.
You're making this personal.
Am I? Listen, I can certainly put back in the obstruction.
My client is very
evidence.
happy with the deal.
No, I'm not.
Kendall, you would rather spend your time in jail. Trust me, that can be arranged.
I have somewhere I need to be.
Yes, you do. You have to be at Memorial Park at 6:30 a.m. And I would wear something shiny.
What, did you find something? Something to fill in the blanks the night that David was killed?
What are you talking about? Didn't the police just do that?
I mean, the suicide?
Well, it works for me.
You don't think that's just too neat?
Listen, I talked to Jesse. The police investigation was very thorough.
Except I didn't hire Jesse. I hired you, Tad.
I haven't found anything the police didn't.
You don't want to find anything. You don't want to because I know if you dig too deep, you think that you're going to find something that's going to hang me. That's what you think.
Maybe. Or maybe I think the guy did us a favor and,
You know what, Ted? You have known David longer than you've known me. Have you ever known him to give up on anything? His life. Come on.
I stopped trying to second guess what that son of a bitch was capable of years ago. What amazes me is you haven't. Brian, he's dead. Gone. No more. Cold. Morte. And he's still pressing your buttons. You're free. You're in the clear. It's time to let it go.
You gonna keep working for me or not?
What is it? What kind of stone? Come on.
Well, diamonds, I've been done so many times, I don't know. It's a moonstone.
It's perfect.
You're perfect.
You expect me to pick up trash with a stick when I'm supposed to be somewhere with my husband?
You stole evidence from a DA's car, and then you destroyed it? Not to mention my brand new briefcase. You're lucky I'm feeling generous.
You're loving this, aren't you?
No, actually, I'm not. I have a lot more important things to do than to coddle you.
Liza, David killed himself. Okay, there wasn't even a murder, so what I took doesn't even matter anymore. Why not just drop the charges altogether?
Wow. I really do love the whole law according to Kendall, but this is the real world. And you're getting off easy.
Would you do something, please?
It's a very fair deal.
Fine.
You know what, Kendall? Why don't you just not look at this as a punishment? Think about it as spending hundreds of hours beautifying this town that you love. A community that's forgiven you again and again and again. Now, if you excuse me, I have other things to do. Would you please keep an eye on her? And Kendall, matter of fact, I am enjoying this. Just a little.
You're very lucky, Mrs. Slater.
Don't expect me to thank you.
The meeting's over. What happened?
Well, I'm not going to prison.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. Let's have a party. Want to have a party? Let's invite my divorce attorney. That'll be fun.